OFC Nation, who we got out there today? I saw there were like 12, 13 watching right now. 12 thumbs up. Thank you. Appreciate that. We'll give it a few seconds and let people start to trickle in if they're going to. For those of you that are watching right now, let me show you something. I just got done filming the review of the XM42 light flamethrower. So, yeah, pretty neat. Pretty cool. Get to throw some fire. But, yeah, I just got done filming that outside. So I'm going to get that put together in Power Director and uploaded sometime tonight, probably right after this airs. So since there's 18 of you, I won't keep everybody waiting. Refrigeration. The reason I thought about this was honestly Diabetic Prepper. He's a subscriber. And the book 1 Second After. If you haven't read that, it's a decent book. But here comes a spoiler alert: little girl dies because she doesn't have insulin. So, what made me really think about this video was that it could actually save somebody's life. Myself, I would primarily use total off-grid refrigeration just because I like to have ice cubes in my peanut butter whiskey. People are like, oh, that's kind of selfish. Well, if it's mine, it's mine. I can do with it what I want. It's mine. I can play with it if I want to. All right. I'm talking about the refrigerator. Get your minds out of the gutter. But the reason I thought about this was, everybody's going through, I hear it all the time. And some of it's really good stuff, about going off grid, having your solar panels and your battery banks, and people spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and that's good if you're homesteading, you're getting off grid. But what if you can't afford that shit, for one? And two, what if it just happens tomorrow? What if all the lights go out tomorrow and they don't come back on? What if you want to have refrigeration when that happens? Well, I'll have refrigerator. If the lights went off tomorrow, I would have a refrigerator running and the use of a microwave at least 2 to 3 times a day for a year right now, the way War Rig 2 is set up, right? Because I have a refrigerator and a microwave that connect to a power inverter that connects to batteries, that connects to a big diesel engine. And I have full tanks right now. Very costly to have full tanks right now. But that system, the way it's set up, the engine needs to be started once every 3.5 days for an hour. That's it, to fully charge the batteries up. Once I shut it off, it's good for another 3.5 days. Now, the reason that's good for me is because I have to have enough juice left in those batteries to fire off that big diesel. Takes a lot of juice to crank that thing over. If you weren't using that big diesel, you could go with smaller, less expensive alternatives. And I'm going to show you. Took my whiteboard down off the wall over there in the office, and I'm going to show you basically how the setup is. All right. If the power went out tomorrow and you wanted to have refrigeration, this is what you do. You get yourself a small dorm fridge. All right, there's your little handle. Let me turn this so you can see. A small dorm fridge. All right. You take that fridge and you simply plug it right into an inverter. Now, you can get inverters, 3,000 watt, 2,500 watt, 1,500 watt inverters at any truck stop in the nation. Pilot, Flying J, Love's, TA, and they're not that expensive. All right, for the bigger ones, like I have a 3,000 watt, because I can run a refrigerator, microwave, and some other shit at the same time. All right, you're looking at $300. right, for a power inverter. But if the shit hit the fan and everybody's going crazy, you just go over to wherever people are already ransacking places and stuff. And if you were going to loot something like that. All right, I'm not telling you to loot. I'm saying, but if you did, get something like that. 4 batteries. This inverter right here connects to 4 batteries. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boop, 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 boop. Now, those 4 batteries, they don't have to be marine deep cycle or any of this other thing. You'll hear, like I heard somebody tonight say you get marine deep cycle battery for $250 something a piece. No, every truck stop, and I went through the list already, has batteries stacked up in there. If you want to, you can buy them tomorrow, the next day, right now. Well, not right now because you're watching this, but you can buy them for about, TA is going to screw you. I'm going to tell you that now. TA is going to screw you, but you're going to get them for about $120, $125 a piece, maybe $150 at the TA. If you go to a big truck dealer like International, Peterbilt, you're going to get them a little less. Maybe anywhere, if they're on sale, you can get them for $85. If they're not on sale, you're looking at about $110 to $115. Okay, so right there, you've got, let's say $110, round up to $450. You got $450. $450 in this. You got $300 in this. What's a college refrigerator at Walmart? $75. We'll put $75 over here. And then what you're going to want is some way to power this. Now, here's the thing. If the shit hits the fan, you can use your car engine. As long as you got fuel in the tank and you're not using it to go anywhere, you can use your car engine and jumper cables to charge this up when the battery bank gets low. All right. You could use a generator once a week to charge up these batteries, running an hour at a time, an hour once a week to charge up these battery banks. And as long as you only have this refrigerator plugged in, all right, you're going to have plenty of juice in these batteries, probably for the week. If you're letting them run even halfway down, it's probably going to take a week for them to run halfway down. All right. I can let it go in my truck. I can let it go for about 4.5, 5 days before she starts having a hard time cranking. That's why I do it every 3.5 days. I'll fire it up, let her run for honestly about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, charge the battery banks fully back up. And then that refrigerator's still steady going. I got an ice compartment, refrigeration. And at the same time, if I want to, I can go up, fire up the microwave and heat me up a can of soup, a sandwich, whatever I want. But for refrigeration only, this is a very, very simple, cheap, and effective setup for you to have in your mind for your toolbox to either set up now, ahead of time, get the components now, or for you to easily acquire post SHTF. Think about it. How many vehicles are going to be abandoned if society collapsed tomorrow? If the lights went out tomorrow, how many vehicles would just be abandoned everywhere? There's a source of batteries. There's a source of fuel. And what you want to do is you want to run these in series. So this will be positive and these will be negative, right? So you're going to connect positive to positive all the way down and negative to negative. And that's going to give you a 12-volt system. The inverter converts the 12 volts to 110. That's what it does. All right. Now, you could find, even at truck stops, small chillers. They're coolers that will lower the temperature inside. Instead of being a refrigerator, it's a cooler. It will be 30 degrees cooler than the surrounding atmosphere. So if it's 70 degrees outside, it'll keep it around 40, right? If it's 100 degrees, it'll keep it probably around 70, right? So if you have medications, you have antibiotics, you have If you invested your money in antibiotics, you don't want that stuff to go bad from being in the heat. If you take insulin, you need to keep it cold or else it goes bad quickly. This could save you, could save your life if you're insulin dependent. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. Now, there are other ways you can hook this post SHTF. You could use solar panels hooked to this, so you don't even have to get fuel. All right, you don't have to get a generator. You don't have to jump it off of a car or off of these. But there are many ways to do it. Alternators on vehicles make electricity. So whether it be a car, a pickup truck, a semi truck, if the engine runs, it's going to produce electricity, and you can charge up your banks off of that. But you could use solar panels. You would probably need a good bit of solar panels. You know, I would think probably 4 or 5 good sized solar panels. Well, where am I going to get solar panels? Especially, you know, after shit hit the fan. Well, I don't know, anywhere. Have you looked around lately? There are lots of street lights, highway lights, signs. Solar panels are everywhere around us. Up here in West Virginia, every well site is chock-a-block full of solar panels. They're everywhere. But most people have become so used to seeing them, they just blend into the background. A lot of your communication towers, like the monopole towers, you look at the base of those, there's solar panels there. Well, post SHTF, I'm just going to fucking take them. Sorry if people don't like that, but there's going to be a lot of people just taking a lot of things. And if it will help keep somebody else alive, then I'm not going to judge them for, you know, taking a solar panel that was paid for with my tax dollars anyway. So there's that. But many ways you could simply hook a alternator to with a belt to an old bicycle rim and have somebody that's willing to pedal their ass off a few hours a day to keep those things charged. But as long as you keep your batteries charged, you will have steady supply of power to your inverter, and your refrigerator will keep nice and cool. So a year after everything went dark, hey, I'm good to go. I got ice cubes. Or if you're like diabetic prepper, I've got insulin. And I don't know if there's a problem with the chat, because normally I have at least one question or somebody saying hi. So if I hope I didn't mess up the chat, and it's not, let's see, chat. Participants, there's no one in the chat. So I probably screwed something up along. Oh, there we go. The chat just popped in. The chat literally just showed up. If you've wondered, if you've been saying stuff on here, give me a second. I'm going to sit this down for a second so I can get into the chat, because it literally just came on my end. I'm sitting here looking like, well, nobody's talking to me tonight. And that's kind of weird. P&P comment. I hope you meant Brother Rob. I'm not Mother Rob. I'm going to scroll back up here to the top real quick, because some people's shit is getting hidden. And we don't do that around here. Sherman Sales, thanks for the if nitrogen fertilizer is available, I will try to get some. I don't know what y'all talking about there. I missed a whole bunch. Kelly Goins, thank you for being here. Tilton Rear. Alexis Alexander, we had fire, lost almost 400 acres county over before wind got really bad in Texas. Tornadoes are bad too. And Michael B, a lot of side talking on here. Let's see. We had 20 tornadoes. Let me scroll down. Weather sure is wacky. Okay, I'm going to show Kelly Goins and show that one. Let's see. So we got 50 people in here now. Everybody was talking about the weather and the wind. What's good with you, Michael? Is that your next giveaway? The diabetic prepper. Oh, there you go. See, I was literally talking about you. I couldn't see that you were in here. I was literally talking about you. Know that, you know what? I'll tell you what. Uh, if I hit 50,000 subs, I'll give away the XM42. Not a problem. 50,000. You want it, make it happen. It's up to y'all. Y'all got to share this stuff and be like, hey, you guys, come check this crazy asshole out. Jareth Hogan, good to see you. Patricia Hobbs. Miss Hobbs, if you're still in here, I hope you're in here. I don't need to send you an email because you're here. But Heartland Vets will send, apparently, fish antibiotics for your sick fish, 500 milligram tablets without a prescription. So Heartland Veterinary. All right. So go check them out. Good evening, y'all. The Bitter Critter. Coffee first. Good to see you. Sherry Bo, I'm scrolling down. PMP, teach. Why are they going to block Beaverines? Really? Show that. This is for entertainment purposes only. If you do stupid shit, OFC is not responsible. There you go. Right, diabetic prepper. Did I miss roll call? Hey, Danky Skull, how are you doing? I'm going to shoot down to the bottom, try to catch back up. I don't know what happened with the chat there, why it didn't show anything at all. But if anyone has a question, okay. If anyone has a question, put a smiley face and then a question so it'll draw my eye to it. Wyoming Kitty Preps. Did truckers going to DC Swamp do us any good? No, not really. The media blacked it out. All this other stuff was going on. People aren't even paying attention to, what's her name, Griswold and the other Pedo Island peoples. Not that we should be saying that on here, but it's true. Patricia Hobbs, you are very welcome. I was going to send you an email because I was like, oh, yeah, they shipped it. So, and you know what? Hold on. I'll show you. For anybody wondering what I'm talking about with Patricia Hobbs, I'll show you. Give me 1 second. Let me walk over here to my refrigerator. Frigidator. Over there in the Frigidator. These. See that? And that is metronidazole, 500 milligrams. This is the exact same prescription. No, I'm not a doctor and I'm not playing one on TV. I'm simply saying that this is the exact same prescription that someone else I know had, and the exact same milligrams. But this came from a pet store. Well, a pet vet. So let's see. Michael Holzman, pure sine inverter for delicate electronics. I'm not an electronic guy. I'm not. If y'all can't figure that out by the fact that I couldn't get this chat working right or something went wrong and I don't know. I know basic stuff when it comes to electronics. But I know, like I said, just starting that rig twice a week for at the maximum an hour. Now, mind you, I've got some big freaking tanks on her. So just starting it for 1 hour, twice a week, I can literally keep that refrigerator running round the clock for over a year. Okay, so diabetic prepper, I hope you were paying attention there. And like I said, you got to think outside the box. They're hiding things again. Garden Koi, if you could just maybe put an FJB instead, they might let that slide. I paid $50 each for 100 pills and cephalin. Well, that's a good deal. Yeah, that's a good deal, Steve-O. Garden Koi, I'm going to show that, even though some people might not like that. But, FJB. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, see, they let it through. I didn't even have to say, I didn't even have to click on it. Okay, let me see here. The smiley face. When it comes to antibiotics, fish or human, how do you know when to take it and how much? For that, I would consult your family doctor. Generally, and mind you, I'm old and I've been beat to hell down. My body's been tore up. The military and in even civilian life, the doctors usually prescribed me an antibiotic if I had something wrong for 14 days. And I took one in the morning and one in the evening. And I've never, that's just, and I figured since that's pretty much the general go-to, that's what I'm going to be sticking with for myself. But you may want to do your some research on that and look up different things that might happen and how many. I mean, this thing that we're on right now has all of the knowledge in the world on it. You just have to look. It's there, promise. My wife won't. Brent Rollins says my wife won't let me buy a flamethrower, so please tell Mary Beth to loosen up and let her husband have one she's listening to. Hold on. What's going on here? Something's going on. So Brent Rollins, who's that? Mary Beth. Don't think of it as a flamethrower. Think of it as a pest control device. Okay. Or a safety device. Okay. You gotta, how many people get burned that, you can Google it and you hear it on the news all the time. In the summertime, guy got caught on fire setting up a bonfire in his backyard. You never hear of anybody getting burned up with a flamethrower, right? It's always that guy that's pouring some gas on the logs and he sets the fire and whoosh, it gets him too. If you're 25, 30 feet back, that's not going to happen. Safety. It's about safety, Mary Beth. Let's see. Big German. FJB works for Joe and Jill. Yes, there you go. Beaverines. Next will be a handspring arc tactic. I got confused. Oh, handspring AR tactic. AR. Read that wrong. Lucifers, what's up? Let's see. What do we got here? Brent Rollins. Oh, I'm glad you like that, Brent. I'm serious. It's safety. Oh, so does anybody? Jace Medical, Patricia Hobbs. Jace Medical has a list of which antibiotics to use based on symptoms. I also would like to get their little pack. I wouldn't mind trying that out. Yes, Elfwild. Flamethrower equals safety device. I mean, yeah, because if you need to set something or someone on fire that's way over there, the safest place to be is over here. You don't want to walk. If you walk up to somebody, I'm going to put you on fire. They're probably going to hurt you. But if you get them from over here, it's safety, distance. I mean, yeah, safety first. Don't forget, potato guns can shoot more than potatoes. Flaming potatoes. You could probably drill a hole in potatoes, fill them with like gasoline, and have a little torch at the end so as they pass through it, ignited the potato. That's something one of y'all needs to try that. One of you needs to try that. Irane bullets don't need a flamethrower that reaches less range than buckshot. Well, you're just missing, Kyle. You're just missing the whole setting something on fire. Not someone necessarily, but barbecue. Okay, barbecue. Excellent one. Barbecue. All right, you got to singe the hair off first. You're going to rotate. You're going to fricassee somebody. Yes, you can have the truck do more work while it charges the batteries. You could be using it for other stuff, but that would also consume more diesel. I mean, now if I had an endless supply of diesel fuel, which I mean, in the middle of the oil fields you kind of do, then I wouldn't be worried about that. Yes, flamethrowers aren't loud, but the yelling might be. Actually, when you watch the video and you see how far away I am, because I'm probably about, 15 feet away from, maybe 20 feet away from the actual camera, it's kind of loud. Actually, it's kind of, yeah. It's actually, when I went back to review it, I was like, well, it's louder than I thought it was going to be. Yes, Michael, the sound of the flamethrower makes it scary in itself. But, once you you shoot some flames. It's cool. And like, I only filled it up maybe halfway, so not even halfway. So you'll see in the film when I push the button and it's launching that fire, it starts to trickle out because I literally let it run out of fuel. I didn't want to be out here for 30 seconds, spraying fire, because someone might show up going, "Hey, who's messing around with a flamethrower?" Or did something blow up? No, I don't like those types of interactions. But I did have a fire extinguisher, and you'll see that in the video. It was there just for safety. Does anyone have any questions about refrigeration in that scenario, as in what this video was about? Because like I said, when I thought about it, the first person I thought of was the diabetic prepper. And I was like, well, yeah, someone like that would need refrigeration post SHTF if they're taking liquid insulin. And besides, here's another thing. Oh, if you didn't see the shirt, yeah, local warlord. I like it. Tactical shit, okay? This is where tacticalshit.com. But what was I going to say? Oh, if I've got a refrigerator and my guys go and we raid all the pharmacies, because we're not going to let this shit just fall into everybody's hands. There's certain things that we're going to need to be taken control of almost immediately post-collapse. And pharmacies is one of them. Antibiotics, insulin, things like that. No need to sit in them and let them rot. So if I've got a steady supply, a good supply of insulin, and the diabetic prepper comes along, or someone like him or her comes along, that they're like, "Oh, well, my kid needs insulin." Not a problem. I'll take care of your kid. But because I'm taking care of their kid, they're going to bend over backwards to be helpful in that society, in the society we're creating. All right. They're going to be grateful. I saw some questions. Let me scroll back up. I don't want to ignore you because sometimes I don't see them. Do you charge the batteries up separately or all together at the same time? All right, Lucifer Nation, check it out. When they're in this scenario, when they're in this configuration, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, linked positive to positive to positive, and negative to negative to negative to negative, they are in one damn line. So you put a cable on the positive here and a cable on the negative here, and it will charge all of them at the same time. All of them. I mean, you could put it both on one battery, and it's still going to charge them all at the same time. It's just going to flow a little funkier, but it will still happen. But it's best to stagger them out, positive, negative, so it flows evenly. So I've been told. Again, not an electrician. Let me go back down. PNP. Do not forget to prep other things when you're diabetic: gloves, needle, gauze, wound packs if you have an injury. Yes, all that stuff. PNP. Thanks for pointing that stuff out. Thinking insulin will be scarce in SHTF. Yes, it will, because honestly, probably most of it will get broken by people that, honestly, when the shit really hits the fan and we get to that level, the addicts that are trying to raid pharmacies aren't going to give a shit about insulin. They're going to be knocking it, out of the coolers, off the shelves, onto the floor, stepping on it, busting it, because they don't give a shit. It's not what they're looking for, but they're going to be tearing shit up just looking for shit. And that's why it'll be up to people like us to take control of that stuff, get it into refrigeration, because not everybody's going to make it, especially if they have problems like diabetes. But if we can help one or two that otherwise would have died without our foresight, then that's one or two. Okay. And I'm not gonna, if I know that this kid or this lady or this guy is going to die because I simply left some shit behind that I could have easily just picked up, put in a pack and brought and put in a refrigerator, then I'm kind of the asshole. And I am an asshole, but I'm not that big of an asshole. All right. But yes, it will get scarce. And anybody who is insulin dependent will be on a ticking clock, a countdown timer, the moment society totally collapses. It's just how much time can you give them? Let's see. Have you ever welded off of batteries? I have not. I wouldn't even know where to begin safely with that. I have had a friend of mine that touched a positive to a negative with a Craftsman wrench, and it said CRA on his thumb for like a month, which I thought was funnier than shit. Because I mean, it's all fun and games if somebody puts an eye out, and then it's hilarious, right? But Mike, if you have experience doing stuff like that, you really need to start your own channel and start showing people stuff like that. I mean, I'd watch. Patricia, hold on. They're hiding your stuff. Show. Okay. Patricia Hobbs says insulin, you can buy vials at Walmart for $25. No prescription needed. I just bought some with 8/23 expiration date. Well, there you go. See, that's more than a year out. So, when the shit hits the fan, if you're raiding Walmart or a local pharmacy, grab that stuff, put it into a refrigerator, that's running off of batteries or something, and you may save someone's life. PNP, that's what I was thinking when you say those guys will be looking for liquid morphine, and the insulin will just be kicked to the side and busted and shattered. You're right. Prepper Cowboy says, you stated it correct. Positive through and negative through makes the batteries in series. Applying the cables positive at one end, negative at the other, make it a series parallel. Yeah, okay. I was just making sure because I've forgotten so much different shit over the years. Mama Jules says, OFC, so if you help someone with meds, do you automatically accept them into your mag? Not necessarily. If someone is passing through and they just want some meds, and they just want some meds to keep going, then and I can provide something like that without being a detriment to myself or the other people that I will be responsible for, then I will just give that to them and let them go about their way. If it's something that they immediately need, like insulin, to stay alive in the immediate term, I will probably give them enough to last them. But here's a vial. You better get to hunting more shit down the road. Now, if they want to and they want to participate and they want to stay, then that's fine. But they're going to be it's not going to be a free ride. There's no free rides. We will take anyone but it's not going to be a free ride. You're going to, one is every person basically over the age of 16 will be trained in combat, for lack of a better word. It'll be, OFC Nation is a warrior nation. The Tri-State Militia is a warrior culture. And at the end of the day, if we all have to shed lead, then that's what we're going to do. If we all have to pick up axes and tomahawks and machetes and hack everybody, the aggressors coming at us to pieces, then that's what we will do. But there's not going to be a free ride. I mean, we'll have school teachers and we'll have paramedics and we will have, farmers and dairymen and carpenters and everything else. But think of the Marine Corps. Every Marine is a rifleman. Same concept. Let's see. Sherman Sales says take test strips, testers, alcohol wipes, Lantis, and Humalog. This is my plan, same as your plan, OFC. Let's see. What else? Am I missing anything? But yeah, our there's a lot, and when you hear people talking about marauders and things like that, and uh, you know, like I always said, it's a matter of perspective and a matter of what side you actually want to be on. Because, and this is a little off topic from the refrigeration, but I think we covered that refrigeration enough. Uh, for example, I'll let it be known, we, as in myself and my associates, have a plan, and part of the plan is to literally seize uh, the contents of several pharmacies, a lot of pharmacies in the area, to seize large amounts of cattle. But it's not that we're just taking cattle. We are offering to bring the people who own the cattle with us, because the ones we have selected are in a line of what would be imminent danger from other groups, from marauders. We are offering more of to relocate you and your cattle, because I'm not a rancher. I don't know dick about ranching. So if I can bring the ranchers along and we provide them security and they do the ranching part, and we have other people that do the dairy part, and we have other people that farm produce, and we bring all these people and consolidate them in safer areas that we can provide protection in, all right, where we can geographically isolate to where we have the high ground, if you understand what I'm saying. Also, the medication. We're not just going to let junkies and addicts ransack these places and then everybody that's out. So we're going to consult. Someone has to be in control. Let's see if I'm missing anything. I don't know if they're shutting anything down. I think I'm still here. Hopefully. So does anybody have any? I know that might sound, had to refresh back now though. Okay, I'm good. All right. I know some people are like, man, this dude sounds like he's a psycho. No, I'm a realist. Someone in nature abhors a vacuum. Someone has to be in control. Dynamite says, off topic, but was having a discussion on PN and wanted your opinion of using Vlad the Impaler tactics as a warning to others. Oh, okay. You were the one on Prepper Nation when he was like, they're talking about Dracula. A lot of times when you'll see me on there and I'll say good morning or something like that, I'm usually on the go. All right. So I can't see the chat, as I've said before. But I think it was last week, people were on Prepper Nation were asking what a good deterrent was. And I was the one who he put up and said, heads on pikes would deter predators, as in human types. Yes, I absolutely, like I said, I've said before, if you've committed horrid crimes against members of our community post SHTF, you'll be either hanging from a bridge to warn people that are coming into the area with a sign around your neck like the pirate days, or you'll have your head on a pike somewhere with a sign below it. Actually, funny history for you guys. Wheeling, the city of Wheeling in West Virginia, right down the road, is actually, in the native language, is place of the head, because the frontiersmen came into this area and said, oh, we want to go hunting and fishing here. And the natives said, stay the hell out. This is our hunting ground. And one of them didn't listen. And they caught him and they cut his head off and they put it on a pike as a warning to everybody else. And Wheeling became location of the head. So that is how the city of Wheeling, West Virginia got its name, because a long time ago, someone put a head on a pike. Prepper Cowboy says, I will ranch for you and do security. Good with it? I'm in. Hey, you're always welcome. Like I said, post SHTF, we're within radio range of the exit 11, I-70 in the northern panhandle of West Virginia. We will be listening and we will be making patrols through that area. You know what the flag looks like. You see it all the time, the OFC Nation flag. Dynamite says, not thinking about just the head. Yeah, by all means. Yeah, you put the whole body on a pipe. It'll work too. I mean, history proves it works. Yeah. Most people see bodies on sticks. Then they tend to stop and go the opposite direction or try to avoid that area. Your enemies impaled on shit has worked for centuries as a deterrent to trespassers. The Bitter Critter says, what are your thoughts on Savage rifles? Just picked up a 308 used 350. You know what? I like Savage. Matter of fact, I had a Savage 308 bolt action. My first Savage was a 30-30 pump. It was a 30-30 pump action rifle. Was my first Savage, but a heavy bull barrel on a Savage 308, the Savage 308 tactical with bolt action, excellent rifle. It holds up well. Let's see, Kitty Pros. Why aren't our reps impeaching Numbnuts and his administration? What are we waiting for? Gas to be $10 a gallon. All right, I'm going to say something that will probably lose me subscribers again. All right, because if you didn't notice, my last video actually lost me about a dozen. Your reps do not rep you. Okay. Here's the thing. And you can see tribalism even in this nation. And I know people are going to be pissy about this, but it's the truth, and truth hurts. Idol worship. When you worship that flag, the stars and stripes, it's no different than worshiping a golden calf at this point. I mean, think about it. Look at our society. Does our society reflect your values? If it does, then relax and be happy. If it doesn't, then you can't support it. So do I support this country anymore? Absolutely not. I don't support anything that it does for the most part. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like that. People talk about a convention of states. Convention of states would scare the shit out of me because, it could get term limits. But at the same time, they could swipe away so many other things, like the second. The second could be gone like that. But nobody thinks long term. Everybody seems to have the attention span of a goldfish when it comes to thinking about things like that. People always say, well, I'll fight. I'll fight if the blue helmets show up. I won't. Oh, if Russia invades, then I'll fight Russians. I won't. Why? They're fighting my enemies. Right now, the biggest threat to my children, to my way of life, is the U.S. government. That's a fact. It's the political elites. It's the liberal elites. It's the Hollywood elites. These are the biggest threats. They've completely done away with the way they did away with America. Because when I look out my door, when I turn on my TV, I don't see America. America fell. It's not falling. It fell. PMP, when our nation is okay with killing babies that are unborn and then going after patriots because of the red flag laws, and then you go on and start talking about trans and how, there you go, right there. But you'll still see these people, country and government are two different things. I love my country, but I fear my government. Smitty Smith, I will, that's your opinion, but I will beg to disagree. This country, without the government saying that Texas is a part of the United States, it's a part of Mexico. Government is what makes countries. All right? Think about that. I mean, I love my country. Well, where does your country end? Does it end, on just the East Coast or just the West Coast? Is Texas included? Is Alaska included? It's only included because the government has made it that way. It's not about geography. It's about who controls that geography. That's what makes a country. The government and the country. Too many people have said that, and I've been guilty of that before in the past too. Before I started opening my eyes, I always said, it's the duty of a patriot. Sir Edward Abbey. It's a duty of a patriot to defend his country from his government. But finally, I woke up and I said, well, you know what? Governments are countries. Think about it. PMP says, I do not fear my government. I will stand up to it. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. If we impeach you, I'm going to show that. But, one of the most liberating things you can do, PMP, is to acknowledge your mortality. All right. Everyone knows, we all know, oh yeah, we're going to die someday, but not too many people think about it on a daily basis. When you have certain issues, medical issues, and your clock is ticking, and that the clock isn't as long as you thought it would be, your mindset can change. When you've got maybe 12, maybe 10 years, your mindset changes, and you look at the world a whole lot different. Tilton Rear says, have you ever looked at your nation people for possible vetting into your group? At your nation people, I'm not sure. Yes, all of like into my group. Oh, have you ever looked at your nation people for possible vetting into your group? Well, if you mean, yes, we vet before people come in. Like I said, we have to have known people for like 5 years. So if we haven't known you for 5 years, then there's a list, like 5 years for senior guys, 2 years for people that aren't as involved. But yes, there will be vetting. Even post collapse, there will be vetting. We will be, having a series of questions that we ask. We want to dig into someone's mind and their personality as best as we can before we are like, yeah, come watch us and keep us safe while we sleep. It's a good idea to know who's watching you while you sleep, or else you may never wake up. KY Survival, thank you for coming. Michigan Outpost 231. I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been? My family knows one dad might have to fight for their freedoms and possibly not come home, but they know what I do is for them and for their freedoms. Yes, I have literally already written letters to my children for the future. And I don't mean like next year or next month, for like when they're grown and they can understand, things that I wanted to tell them or wanted to be there for them for that I may not be. So, and they're in a safe location, and will be given to them when they are the proper ages if I am not around. PMP says, brother, you're completely right. Other than having an addiction to cigarettes, I don't have any medical problems. I have in-laws to do, but I will meet the adversary before he gets to my doorstep. Good. Fed coin coming sooner than later to put even more control on the people. Yes, Big German. I also wanted to start looking something up because I was going into a gas station and, now they sell those Bitcoin They have the machines that can sell Bitcoin, but it said BitFed also. I was like, what the hell is that? So I wanted to start looking into that. But if anybody knows, just throw it in the chat there. Kevin Ayers, hey, greetings from New Mexico. Glad you could be here, sir. Apocalyptic Ben says, free thinker here. I grew up around pagans in different groups, gangs. They're clubs, not gangs. I stay unaffiliated and free. Yes, there are different types of groups. I'm liking the shirt, Chief. Thanks. And it's got a big warlord on the back too. It says local warlord on the back in big yellow letters. I appreciate that. Actually, like I said, I got this shirt at Tactical Shit. And so you can go to tacticalshit.com and check them out. Check out the Orlando location. I didn't see him in the chat. He may comment on the XM42, but if you see someone ever in the chat and his name is Barry, earmuffs says there's kids. Barry McCockiner. That is the guy who works at Tactical Shit in Orlando. But I thought it was humorous. I was like, oh my goodness, that is just like awful and funny at the same time. CBDC will be used to control everything you do. Yes. Yeah, at some point in time, that's how it's going to get to be. But make no mistake. Oh, yes. Alexis Alexander, when is Uncle Rob going to keep his story promise? Oh, what day is today? Today's Wednesday. I will do a story. Oh, let's do it Friday. Okay. We'll do it Friday. Yeah, Friday seems like a good one. I'll have the baby sharks. But even with the coins, even everybody's like, oh, the Bitcoin and FedCoin and all these are going to take over. At the end of the day, silver and gold, okay? And there's going to be people that are like, no, it's not. But I will trust, I don't know, 10, 12,000 years of history that says silver and gold will still be around. The rich will still always want their silver and gold. And the poor man will always covet what the rich man has. So people are always going to want it, and it will always be around in some way, shape, or form. And you can always work outside the system somehow, some way. There's always been black markets in every society. There's always been an underbelly. What you need to start doing is start trying to figure out how to access that, or how you're going to participate in that, and do it as covertly as possible. And sometimes the best way to hide something is in plain sight. Chugga toot diabetic prepper. You want to hear the little engine that could. I still got to tell my kids that one. So I may tell what the baby sharks are. I might have them all lined up, and we'll just do that. Yeah, I like the little engine that could. You want to gouge out the eyes of the conductor, snot, spit. Yeah, I like that. Okay, does anyone have any questions? If not, I'm gonna. We'll stay on for a few more minutes. We'll make it an even hour. Questions, comments, concerns. We got it all down about electricity, right? All right, real basic. Refrigerator, power inverter, batteries. Something to charge the batteries. Doesn't really matter what, as long as it charges the batteries. We have a food bank here. It's a huge warehouse that's definitely on our list of places of interest. And I'm not sure where you're located, but if you are, it better not be one of the distribution centers in the tri-state area, because it's already on our list of targets. That's why you're Uncle Rob, Goose, because of the stories. All right. Ammo is the new gold. uh, ways to easily end people or hunt will always be valued. Oh, you're in Louisiana. Okay. Hey, I was down there for New Year's. I was down there in New Orleans, the most beautiful, filthy city in the country, I think. No, I did not hear about the military bird crashing off the coast. Did not hear about that. I stay pretty. When's the OFC flag is going to be ready? You know what? I'll see about taking. What is that? Yes, yeah, direct purpose it is, but it's interesting. It's the only place where I can walk past. I'll get back to the flag thing in a second. It's the only place where I've walked past a restaurant where you buy, $150 steak and get offered narcotics at the same time. It's like, no, man, I'm good. I'm good. But OC flags, I can. I'll check with Ansley and see about ordering some. We'll get some made up since more and more people seem interested in that. It normally takes them a couple weeks, maybe. Well, I don't know supply chain issues, but last year I had some made up for all of the members. I had for all of the lieutenants basically, so that way we could have those OFC hats. I don't know about OFC hats just yet. I mean, maybe I could do that Pinterest thing or what? Not that Pinterest, but what's that Teespring? Maybe I could do something like that and link it to the thing. But like me, I'm literally like with the flags. I got on Ansley, ordered the flags, they shipped them, and then I physically handed them out. But we might be able to start doing like what's it, Teespring? They have hats, stuff like that. I don't know what kind of hats you'd want. If they want like ball caps, beanies, let me know in the chat. You can always comment on the video after the fact, and we'll see about that stuff. Morale patch. Yeah, I got. I picked up a couple morale patches down at Tactical Shit. They got a bunch of cool ones. The diver program. I'm waiting on an OFC lunchbox and matching thermos. Beaverine, welcome, Beaverine. We were just getting ready to end this in a few minutes. Oh, I don't know about a bumper stickers or an OFC bikini. Maybe a Speedo or something like that. That'd be all right. Yeah, I ain't wearing no two-piece, you know. They ain't that jiggly yet. Come on now. Keep drinking these Yoo-Hoos, though. We need something to identify friendly. Not shooting at me would be a good way to identify that you're friendly. A smile and a wave. Hi. No, I'm not going to get Warlord tatted on your forehead. I think, no, don't get me wrong. I don't like to judge books by their covers, but most people, now I'm not saying all of you, there might be some out there, but most people with heavy facial tattoos probably aren't the type that'll last too long in the OFC nation post SHTF. It's just a feeling I got. All right, because most of those people don't make good decisions a lot of the time. No, I mean, now I do know some people who do have facial tattoos. Like tribal stuff, because their ancestry from the islands, the Pacific Islands. Yeah, but like if they've got like gangsta thug tattooed across they're probably not going to last too long around here. Yeah, well, see, a guy with a face tattoo put a gun to my face about a week ago. This area being tattooed, and I'm tattooed. All right, yeah, I'm pretty well tattooed, but this says poor choices. Sorry. Yeah, it does. Not with a spotter, not with a spotting scope, Smitty Smith. You can tell friendlies at 1,000 yards. Also, you don't have to do cleanup way down there. You just let the birds take care of it. Face tattoos are red flags. Jesse, face tattoos ran the red flags and the red lights too. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I believe it. I've seen where they tattoo, things with little words and stuff. And I'm like, and it's always like, it's never done. You can almost tell. I mean, you can tell that it was not done professionally in a studio. All right. No, there are people in Michiganpolis that have like their suits, their bodysuits done, to have their necks done and stuff like that. But typically when you see it here around the eyes, I mean, honestly, hell of a fighter. But would you want Mike Tyson? Would you living in your mag? You never know. He might just get a little irritated and crush your skull. You never know. I mean, you want somebody that has Joker written all over their face or other goofy shit like that. No. Yes, need OFC merchandise. Smart people judge by their war paint. Yeah. My war paint will be not permanent. I'll be able to wash it off after battle, like I said. But no permanent tattooing. What was art? If any of you are in San Diego, a friend of mine, Art, owns Church of Steel Tattooing, and he's tattooed from like here down. He got these giant hoops. To look at him, people are like, oh shit, he's scary looking. Nicest guy on the planet. His name's Arturo, but he owns Church of Steel, and they do excellent tattooing. San Diego, California. But yeah, he's like descendant of I forget which tribe, but that's why he has his face and sleeves and everything like that done. They do contrast nicely. Face tattoos contrast nicely with red dots. There you go. Big German, why would you get dickhead tatted on your forehead? That don't even make sense. Don't do that. That's a poor choice. That's a poor life choice. Don't do that. Yeah, face tattoos would make good targets. Aim small, miss small. All right, nation. I think we're good for the night. I hope this helps somebody think about that. Like I said, even if you're not diabetic, even if you just want to have refrigeration, so that you can be that asshole sitting around 6 months after the shit goes down with a nice cold frosty beverage. I mean, think about it. Plus, there'll be a lot of semi trucks that are just abandoned. You could just simply utilize an existing system if you wanted to. All right. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for your time. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this flamethrower video up immediately after getting off here. The rest of y'all, good night. God bless. To my baby sharks, Daddy loves you, and I'll see you soon. Good night, nation. I'm out. You're welcome.